Let us go through the exact definition of a call option. Call option grants investors the right to purchase the underlying asset at a specific strike price until the option expiration date. This is basically the same definition I gave earlier for the used car example. So a long call is ideal for bullish investors buying a call option to speculate that the asset price will rise above the strike price before the option expires, aiming for a significant profit on a relatively small investment. This part about relatively small investment means that you pay a relatively small amount of premium and you're able to potentially make a significant profit if the market actually went up a lot. But it's kind of misleading because there are in fact many strike prices to choose from, so not all strike price would be relatively small investment. This we will cover in the future when we learn about the moneyness of an option and delta as well. So they give you a preview. So if the option is out of the money, it tends to be cheap. But if it's in the money, it's no longer cheap. So this relatively small investment is conditional on the moneyness of the option. And also, if you have some experience in options, you must have heard people talk about implied volatility or IV. So if the IV is low, the option is cheap, and IV is high. If the IV is high, option is expensive. But this talk about IV is also kind of misleading as well, because IV is only one factor to explain the price of an option. Delta is another factor, so you cannot just look at one and not the other. Next, we look at the call options payoff diagram. If looking at the chart right now on the slide, we first explain what's on the y-axis. The y-axis is the payoff, which essentially is the P&L, the profit and loss, and the x-axis is underlying price. In this case, would be SPY price. The blue line is the payoff of the call option, the hockey stick line, and the green line is the payoff of the underlying. So let's first explain the payoff of the underlying, because it's very simple. It's just a linear straight line with a certain slope. The slope is actually 1. So it means that with every dollar increase in the underlying SPY price, the payoff will go up by $1. Similarly, if the price were to go down by $1, you will lose $1 as well. Whereas for the blue line is the payoff of a call option. This is the part where I kept repeating earlier about the non-linear nature of option. So this is the case. The payoff is not a linear line. But this blue line is also quite misleading, because the payoff only looks like this on expiration date, and prior to expiration date it doesn't actually look like this. In future lesson, when we talk about delta, I will show you how the payoff actually looks like prior to expiration. It's going to be a continuous smooth curve rather than a hockey stick with a sharp corner. And talking about a sharp corner, that sharp corner is coincide with the strike price. In this case, the strike price is 505. So what it's saying is if the underlying closes above the strike price, you will start making money, in the sense that if you look at the slope of the blue line above 505, it's the same as the green line, which is 1. And below the strike price, basically is a flat line, and that will be the loss. And how much loss are we talking about? The loss will be the cost of the premium. In this example, we just use $20. So basically it's minus 20 for the payoff. And anything above 505, you start making money. But you notice that we have this break-even zero line, graded dash line. So the zero line is basically the break-even point where you neither make or lose money. So you'll be asking, okay, you said that you start making money at 505 and above, but that is below the gray zero line, right? So what's going on here? The reason is because remember you paid upfront the $20 premium, so you would have to make $20 just to break even. So in all the break even point would be precisely 505 plus 20. The point will be 525. So above 525, you will start making money. And another thing to note is if you notice that the green line, the underlying payoff, seems to be above the blue line most of the time, right? Like, if you were to look from 485 and above, the green line is above the blue line. So this is saying that if the underlying were to close above 485, basically the underlying will make more money at a constant. If you see the difference is actually a constant gap. The difference is actually the premium, which is $20, right? So how do I get 485? It's basically 505 minus 20. So the point where they meet is at 485. But notice that below 485, while your losses is capped at minus 20, the losses is potentially will go down to 0, because the underlying SPY could go all the way down to 0, although it's very unlikely, and then your P&L will go down accordingly. So because remember I said that because of the fact that you're paying a premium for this, that's why you exercise you enjoy the luxury of capping your loss, right? So that capping the loss part is basically the right for you to buy the underlying at the price that is agreed upon. So the price that is agreed upon is 505, and that somehow cap your losses. And how does it do it? Okay, so if you think about this, so what the definition of the call option, as we have seen earlier, is trying to say is that if, for example, if SPY were to close, say, at 550, right? At 550, so you have the right to buy the underlying, which is SPY ETF, at 505, right? So essentially, what you could do is you can buy at 505 and immediately sell it at 550, right? That would be the market price at the expiration close. So the difference would be actually the profit. So 550 minus 505, that comes up to $45, right? That will be the profit. In actual fact, if you take the P&L and you subtract the point, I mean, if you look at the P&L when it's at 550, it should be around 45. It's not, because you still have to factor in the $20 premium, so your profit is actually 25. That's how we can calculate the P&L. But if, let's say, it falls to 450, right? You have the right to buy at 505, but remember, it's a right, not an obligation. So you can choose to not do anything. So what you will lose is just the premium, which is $20.